All right, here we go. Hey, fellow maker, welcome down to the shop. Doing something a little different today. Brittany's working on her Probius costume, and I had an idea to make him a little more mobile. Now, we have a stand for him, a little wheelie stand, but I'm obsessed with radio-controlled cars, so I figured maybe I could build a radio-controlled mobile base for Probius so that he could drive around BlizzCon. So I picked up this RC truck, and I'm gonna try and build a base for it that's a little more stable. He's gonna be really top heavy, so I'm gonna try and extend the base a little bit to be able to accommodate that extra weight. I have literally no idea what I'm doing, so I got a bunch of aluminum and some casters from the hardware store, and I need to bend these things and screw things together. So this is gonna be an adventure the whole way through. So come along while I bumble my way through this silly project. So here's kind of the platform, and I'll walk you through what I'm thinking here. I need it to be a wider and longer base, otherwise he will tip right over. So I got the RC car, and I'm gonna attach these aluminum bars to him with casters on the end of it. So I got one kind of bent and ready to go. I gotta bend the other end of this. I'll have another one going the length of him so that he's got more support on the front and back. And then I'll have some more that go up to where it meets his Probius body. So for now, I need to go bend the other side of this and see how it looks. So I've accomplished this so far. I need to repeat that over here. I made a little form out of wood so that I can kind of get it close. And I have this giant vise, and I just put it in here, clamped it down. Yeah. And then I use this other vise. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I use this other vise here to get a good grip on it, because bending it just by hand is a little cumbersome, so that I can just sort of do that to bend it, and then check the angle, see if I'm even close. Nope. Like so. Like that, and then hopefully bend the other part back. This goes on there. Bend this down. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, this is in the way. That's no good at all. Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay. So that's kind of the first try there, and it's actually kind of close. From here, I can just kind of put it in the vise loosely and give it a. No, wait, wrong way, crap. Give it a bend like that, and then move it down here. Give it a bend like that. Check it against my form. So I can go put my casters on here and see how it looks on my truck. So again, this is all just stuff from the hardware store. Just this aluminum bar stock that was crazy overpriced, and these casters. And then I built I have a little thing here so I can simulate about how tall that should be. The tricky thing is going to be attaching this to the plastic frame, because this plastic frame is probably not meant to have metal screwed into it, but we'll see. I can try and just like thread some holes, or thread some holes in here and just screw it in through there and see how durable it is. Cross my fingers. Okay, I decided to work more on this part here, and I think that I can drill and tap some holes and have 3 points where I can screw in to the frame. Ugh. Like so. And I'm gonna put an arrow on this. This is front. Wait. Which side is this? This is the front. Cool. Steering. Got it. So I got these 3 points here. I'm gonna drill and tap those. And that should do it. So here's my hope that these 3 screws screwed through the plastic frame down to the aluminum bar will be enough to keep this thing nice and secure. We'll see how it goes. Boy, these holes are not straight. It's fine. Also, I hope that the battery can still fit in here. I may have to flatten these screw heads a little bit, but those are in there. Those are nice and tight, like that feels on there. And the car can still move. The casters are just grazing the surface there. It seems pretty good. So now if the tires turn, the casters should go with it. That looks all right. So I may need to add more screws just later once there's more force on this thing, but that so far is working okay. Neat thing about Sharpie is that it's alcohol soluble. So if you screw up on a piece of metal, you can just wipe it off. Ta-da! Time to do this other bend here. And because of the length, I can't do it vertically, so I have to do it horizontally, which turns out way easier. So, chuck that up. Put this on. And then just do that. Super easy. Click. I just have a drawing that I'm referencing this against to see if I'm even close. And I'm not. So I'll just keep bending it until it's right. Well, that took longer than I care to admit, but I think I'm good. The casters here are just skimming the surface, which is fine because these don't actually need to be in contact with the ground all the time. It's just when it leans forward, I want to make sure this guy touches down, and when it leans backwards, I want to make sure the back one touches down to keep it from tipping. But that's kind of the thing. Now, the next thing I need to do is figure out how to attach these to this. And this is fairly sturdy. There's some screw holes there I can probably use. I'm gonna have to have a think about this. I could just zip tie it, but I'd like something a little bit more sturdy. So here's what I came up with. This is a little piece of thinner aluminum, about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I had to drill these plastic holes out, which worries me because they're already pretty thin, but they seem like they'll hold. I drilled them to accept these 832 screws, and then the holes in this aluminum piece were threaded so that I can just screw these guys in and cinch this down. Now, this part here is pretty snug, but it can still kind of slide forward and backward. I think once I have the front one on, the bend will help keep that from being much of a problem. But I also put some foam in there to take up a little bit of the slack. So that might work. I don't know. Basically, I'll make another one of these, put it up here, see how it works. Good plan, Bill. There we go. That actually, with both of these locked down, this feels really super secure. It doesn't want to slide back and forth. A little play, which is fine. And in fact, I might loosen these side guys here so that they have a little play too. That way these wheels are actually gripping more. If these take too much weight, although weight's probably not going to be a problem, but if they take too much weight, these wheels won't be able to grip. But I can always tweak this bend a little bit. But that's pretty great right there. It feels really sturdy. I should probably take this outside and drive it around and see how it works. And then I can worry about adding the upper parts. Okay, shop test. Definitely a little low on traction. I have a feeling that the wheels, those little wheels, are going to make it hard for it to go over obstacles. Yeah. So this is going to be a flatland only vehicle. That's okay though. But it's definitely a little light on traction, so I might bend those side wheelies up a bit. Just a little bit. But the front and back look good. Time for the next step here. This guy goes up about 3 feet maybe, I think. And this will definitely work. It just needs to be pushed around by hand. For this guy, I'm gonna have this square tube up there, and our robot friend will slide down into this to hold him in place. I need to suspend this 3 feet in the air though. So I've got these bars, more of this stuff, and I'm gonna bolt it through here to this guy. So at the top, this will bolt to that guy. There'll be a bend, if that makes sense. So this will get screwed into that. There'll be one on the other side and then one coming off the back. Yeah. These arms are gonna double up on these posts here, so I need to drill holes through them to accept these. There we go. So here's what I'm thinking about the connections. So I've got these two guys that will go on either end like that. Drill a hole through and bolt that. It's okay if they rotate because there will be a third one like that from the back. So we got a tripod thing going on. It should keep it from wobbling out of place. So I'm going to drill the holes for these now. I need a hole through there and then another one through there. And this, what is it? The third back leg is too short and I'm all out of bar stock. So I'm going to use this guy and then bolt it together. That seems like it should work. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully right now you're watching me drill all these holes, putting it together and bending all the parts and then putting it all the way it should go, and it worked perfectly, hopefully. Or it's just a video of me crying. I don't know. So that's it. It's all put together. Why don't we drive it around the shop and see how it does? Whee! Oh. That wire's a problem. Okay, here's the top. This is a 5-pound medicine ball, and I'm just gonna like duct tape it there. This will simulate the weight of Probius. I don't know how much he's gonna weigh in the end, but this should help us know if this is even close to useful. So I'll just duct tape that there and go take it out for a test run. That seems pretty sturdy. The truck's having a little rough go in it. Downhill's pretty good. Woo! All right. I think we're good. Seems pretty awesome. Today is a new day and I have a new idea. So here's my uprights in aluminum, and I went and got some strips of polycarbonate, just ran over to Tap Plastics, got these cut out. I've got a couple of them here with the plastic covering on them. And I just ran a router over to round over the edges, and then made quite a mess. Lots of mess. And then I just used the heat gun to heat up these edges here and bent it to match the metal parts. And it's a little long. I'll just drill my holes and cut it to shape. And then these edges here, I think I can just smooth them with a little bit of sandpaper and then hit them with a torch to make them all nice and shiny. So the hope is that these guys here will be a little less obtrusive than these. You'll still see this, but it'll be less, I mean, it's transparent. So hopefully it looks more like Probius is floating along, supported by nothing. That's the plan. We'll see. This is 1/2-inch polycarbonate. It is crazy strong. And even though this is twice the thickness, they are about the same weight. So we have 320 grams there. The plastic one is 330. So they're nearly the same weight. So I'm not really adding much in terms of weight. So here it is. Now with the clear uprights, hopefully a little more clandestine than the aluminum here. And it appears to be just as strong. I think that's going to hold up quite nicely. So all we have to do now is get Probius finished up and mounted on here. I'm happy to report that Probius was a massive hit at BlizzCon. My fairly cheap RC car did a pretty great job, actually. Got him moving around really well. He was super nimble. I'm definitely glad I swapped out the uprights for those polycarbonate ones. I thought they looked a lot better. One thing I had to consider as well was the battery. This car came with this 2000 milliamp hour battery, which is not a ton. I could drive this car around for maybe 20 minutes on this. And with the probe on there, it lasted a lot less. In fact, I found driving it on carpet was even more of a drain on the battery, and it would last hardly 5 minutes. Fortunately, I thought ahead and I bought a couple of these 5,000 milliamp hour batteries. So I would have 3 batteries all charged up and ready to go each day of BlizzCon. Now, when I drove him around with one of these batteries just on the show floor where it's nice and smooth, it lasted quite a long time. Anyway, that was a really fun project. I'm glad I got to incorporate some radio controlled stuff into a prop build. That was really fun. As always, all of the tools and materials that I used for this build will be linked down below, including this sweet little RC truck. Thanks so much for checking out the video and joining me here in the shop today. We filmed a ton more stuff for the Probius build, and it's all out today. In fact, Brittany's build is right there. That's how she built everything out of foam. And then if you want to know a little bit more about the internals, I did a video a while ago. Plus, while we were at BlizzCon, I shot a video of Probius driving around BlizzCon having a really fun time. And while we were in LA, we stopped by Matterhackers and they filmed a video with us. Thanks for checking out the videos, and I'll see you in the next build.